Hey everyone, welcome back to Popular Preparedness. I do not have a Berkey water filter. Heresy of the highest order, I know. I have some things to say about Berkey water filters. I have some things to say about water purification that a lot of people do not want to hear. But I'm going to tell it to you anyway. I have a little bit of experience. I've backpacked across the United States, across the eastern coast of the United States on the Appalachian Trail, 2,000 miles, and most of that I did not carry water purification on me, except for a little bottle of iodine tablets, which I very infrequently used. And I didn't die. I know. I started off that trail with one of those water filters, went out for a month, and I actually had 5 separate trips. My first trip, I had a little pump water filter that's very similar to a Berkey, ceramic core that you're forcing water to go through, and it filters out bacteria, algae, and things like Giardia, right? So very similar, except a more compact version. And I pumped all of my water, and I didn't die, so that was good. I was told basically all the water that comes across your path that's above ground is going to kill you or make you very, very sick. And even the water that comes out of the ground in springs is probably going to make you sick still. That I've learned is not exactly true. So I went overseas, and I was working in Central Asia in a remote country, and the water coming out of the tap would make me very sick. That was true. I learned that one, yeah. So I needed to filter basically everything that came out of the tap. When I went out to villages, I didn't have the option of purifying my water sometimes. Hopefully they boiled it in most of the cases for the tea and such, but a lot of the food was prepared with water that just came out of a ditch somewhere, and I got sick a lot. I got Giardia again and again and again. I got the sulfuric burps. I got the sulfuric farts. And when you get them, you know what they are. Yeah, distinctive smells. Yes, definitely distinctive. But I learned that you can treat that with Pepto-Bismol tablets. Bismuth is like a metal that is like silver. And that bismuth metal, once it gets into your digestive tract, will basically kill all the bacteria it comes in contact with, all the viruses and all the Giardia spores. So that is scientifically proven. There is a study that actually shows that the bismuth come in contact with Giardia spores actually kills the Giardia. So I would get sick, or actually I started learning earlier on when my stomach did that little flip-flop that I was going to get sick. I started taking Pepto-Bismol tablets. So when I did that, I learned that Giardia is actually treatable. And since Giardia is treatable, it's not as serious as I was led to believe before. I mean, people tell horror stories about Giardia, all the horrible things it's going to do to you. But Giardia didn't do those kind of things to you. And I saw people who didn't get treated for it, and most of them survived. And so I brought back to the United States, and I went back backpacking again, and I said to myself, does the water really need to be treated? How did our ancestors survive for thousands and thousands of years, long enough to reproduce, if the water is as bad as everyone's telling us it is? I'm not talking about like city water. I'm not talking about water where it's like going through like towns and stuff like that. I'm talking about water up in the mountains where a bear is crapping in the stream upstream. I mean, like, is it really that bad? And the answer is no, it really isn't. It really isn't. And I just drank the water straight. As long as it was clear and running, and, I just drank it. If it was questionable, I'd use my little tablets of iodine and drop them in there and treat the water if it was like super shady. And I didn't get sick for most of the Appalachian Trail. That's the kind of stuff I come to bring with. So when I start talking about Berkey water filters, they're very convenient. I mean, if you're using it as your water filter, that's cool. That's awesome. My problem with the Berkey water filter is it doesn't fit in the fridge. if they made a Berkey water filter that fit in the fridge, I'd be listening. But so I just use like Brita water pitchers, which has the activated charcoal. It makes the water taste better, and that's what I'm looking for. My tap water isn't going to kill me. At least I don't think it will. But it does make me slightly more compliant. You fluoride people out there know what I'm talking about. So I use Brita water filters, and they're convenient for me in the everyday now. And are they going to save me in a grid down situation? No. They're not going to be really all that useful in a grid down situation, except to make my water taste a little better. Instead of a Berkey water filter, Pull Shock. This 1 pound, almost a pound of Pull Shock in a 1 pint jar, 1 pound just barely doesn't fit, which is highly, highly annoying. But 1 pound of Pull Shock will treat 10,000 gallons of water. How much water will your Berkey water filters treat? Each candle will treat 1,000 gallons, they say on their website. Now, you probably can scrub those and get those things to give you some more, because I have some experience when I was overseas doing that. Look into it. When they start getting slow, you can just put up with the slowness, or you can scrub them out and get some more life out of them. So look into that if you are using those type of things. But even if you have a Berkey water filter, where's your Pull Shock? You need Pull Shock. One, because you need a backup water purification system. If your Berkey goes down, if your candle snaps off, if something else goes on with that, if you decide to travel and your Berkey stays at home and you need to go out, do something somewhere, you can't take your Berkey with you. And what are you going to do? Just like fill up your canteen with Berkey water before you go and just make sure you don't run out? No, you need some Pull Shock with you. You need to take some Pull Shock with you if you need to drink some nasty water. And that's something you should do. 10,000 gallons of water in 1 pound of Pull Shock. Pull Shock goes for about $2.50 to $3 usually. There is a shortage right now of it. Go figure, a shortage of it. Who would have thunk it? Because, pools being so essential to life and everything like that. But so you can still get the Pull Shock. You're going to pay a little bit of a premium on it. That's just the way it is. Make sure you're getting the right stuff. But Pull Shock will treat lots and lots of water. You mix this with water and you get a bleach solution. If you're like, well, I just have bleach on the shelf. Well, your bleach, how long have you been storing it for? Because they say it's only good for 6 to 12 months. It starts degrading rapidly. If you've had it on the shelf for a couple of years, it's mostly water by now. In this form, this is much more long-lasting. This does not get weaker. This jar may explode, and so you need to make sure that you store it properly. So once I have this jar, I am going to put this somewhere, and I do have these stored in a place where if they burst, they're not going to cause a lot of problems. I have like a chemical storage room. It used to be the heating oil room, so it smells all nasty as it is. So I can put my nasty stuff in there, and if it goes all over the floor, it's not going to make it smell too much worse. But if it does burst, do be aware that this is off-gassing some really noxious, nasty stuff. Put on your mask before you go in there. And I'm not talking about a little cloth one. I'm talking about a real one. Or you need to air out that room really, really good before you go clean that up. So you need to keep it dry. You need to keep it away from oxygen. You need to keep it away from metal. You need to keep it away from plastic. You need to keep it away from everything. Okay, it reacts with everything. So it's difficult to store, but it's much more easy to store than bleach. And you need it. You need to sanitize and disinfect things when it all hits the fan. Shtf happens, you are going to need disinfectant, and lots of it, because diseases get spread a lot worse when in those type of situations, and that will kill more people than pretty much anything else. You need to disinfect everything. Studies have shown that most people in the United States that get Giardia, it has been tracked back to them and their poor hygiene after their bathroom visits. So, hand washing station is going to actually save you more Giardia infections than actually purifying your water. Hand washing station, soap, water, all that good stuff. People need to clean their hands after it, and they need to be disciplined about doing so. It's harder. If you're in the middle of winter, you don't want to wash your hands with cold water, but you need to do so anyway. And you need to do so thoroughly. So that's something. So what am I stockpiling? One, I have chosen to get my water from a better source, from the skies. I have a rainwater catchment system, and the nastiest things in that rainwater catchment system are algae, which this stuff is designed for. That's the kind of stuff that gets going in pools that Pool Shock is designed for, right? It's a safe chemical. It's used by water treatment facilities across the United States. It's the most popular chemical used to disinfect water that people drink, and it's safe. You just let it gas off a little bit. You can, if you want to get rid of it, you can actually just pour the water between two bottles, and it will off gas, and you won't even have a taste. So that's why it's used in chemical water treatment plants. It's very effective in what it does. That's the reason why I go this way. Will I ever get a Berkey? Possibly. I might get one, but it's a convenience. It's not a necessity. You get 2 5-gallon buckets, and you can basically just treat with Pool Shock and just pour it between them and do what you need to do. It's not necessary to have Berkeys. If you have the money and you want a Berkey, go for it. Awesome, cool. Have a backup water solution. If your Berkey goes down, you need a solution. And 2, if you're traveling or if you have people going off your compound, they're going to need a mobile solution. And your Berkey's not going to help them all that much on that. So some thoughts there. SteriPens, that's another good option there. SteriPen UV bulb. Uses batteries. You can recharge the batteries. The bulbs last a long time. That will kill Giardia and kill viruses and also bacteria in the water. That's good solution for that. For travel, it's a little bulky. I'd rather just take a little bit of this with me, but to each his own. So that's my thoughts on water treatment. If you have chemicals in your water, your Berkey's not going to help you. Change your water source. Get a better water source. Get your water from the sky. Get your water from the ground. Don't get your water from on top of the ground if you don't know exactly what's upstream of you. And that situation upstream can change, especially in a grid down situation. And you need to be thinking about how that's going to change and whether you need to change your practices for that. All right, that's enough for today. Consider the sacred cow of Berkeys severely beaten, and I will see you again here tomorrow. Leave all your hate comments below. All you lovely people who have awesome comments, leave those down below too. And I appreciate you all, and thanks for watching. Steve Poplar, out.